There are many animals in the sea, on the land, and even in the air. Some of us only see one group in a lifetime, but Miss Hogue grew up with a little bit of everything.
I grew up in a farming family, hunters, fishing. We had cattle, sheep, goats, chickens. So I've always been around animals, and to bring that love to the students of Whiteland Community High School definitely made me want to teach zoology here.
Animals are a natural part of life, with many of them being in the wide depth of the sea.
I would have to say, honestly, it's either phylum Mollusca, and I'll explain it, phylum Mollusca or phylum Chordata. So mollusks are a very interesting group of animals. They're a variety, so they're your shelled creatures. When you go to the beach and you pick up all the shells, and you're like, oh, cool. Well, those are from a living animal, but it also includes octopuses. Yes, it is octopuses. Yes, I looked at the camera. Squids, cuttlefish, nautiloids. It's a very diverse group, and we dissect a squid, which is one of my ultimate favorite animals to dissect. And then I like chordata, so any of the vertebrate animals. In particular, I like chondrichthyes, which are my cartilaginous fish. So we do a dogfish, which is a shark dissection. And fish are just fascinating creatures. I've been scuba diving, snorkeling, and it's one of my favorite things to do. So the fish unit is probably up there as well.
Nature is a wild place with many weird animals, but sponges don't typically show up on anyone's radar.
Oh, there's a lot of weird animals. Probably we just got done with sponges, and it's hard for kids to imagine that a sponge, like a typical bath sponge, it's actually derived from an ocean animal known as a sponge. And so I think kids realizing this is an animal, it meets all the characteristics of an animal, I think that's probably the strangest, and my kids would probably agree with that. But I do like to highlight some interesting animals. The eye, if you don't know what that is, look it up. Z Frank has an awesome YouTube channel. I like to highlight the weird, strange animals that kids are like, wait, what? So those come up periodically, but as a group, I would say sponges.
Zoology leaves people with a lot of things to do. Dissecting animals is one activity that people love, but this zoology teacher has her boundaries.
Cats. So, no, this is a caveat. I know that was such a strong answer. For phylum Chordata, we dissect for all of the major classes, including mammals. And one of the specimens you can get for lab purposes are cats. I had a cat for 21 years, God rest her soul. I cannot dissect, look at in a bag, in a pail, because a lot of my specimens come bagged or in pails. So that is one that hands down, I will not. But that's the irony, because if you know my room, you know I have a turtle. We actually dissect a reptile, and ironically, it's the same species as my turtle, Hogue. So that is one that we have and we do, but I tell my kids, I will not separate your carapace from your plastron. So I will not separate the shells. Good luck to you. I cannot do it because I have a pet turtle of the same type, so I struggle with those two.
Everyone works at different paces, but in Miss Hogue's class, that doesn't matter because everyone can be engaged and learn in a fun manner.
I think varying activities. I also think my energy level and my personality feeds into my kids' engagement. If I'm not excited about teaching, if I don't want to be here, what makes my kids want to be here? So I think doing a different variety of teaching strategies, allowing my kids to work with groups and with peers. And in zoology, it's pretty easy because there's a lot of fascinating video clips I can also show kids to keep their interest. But in here, it's laid back, which I think kids respond to, but we get stuff done and we get it done in a fun manner.
Class can be really stale, but when the teacher has fun, that means the students will too.
Hands-on experiences. I'm a tactile learner. I learn by doing. So anytime we do a unit, to me, it's important that kids get a hands-on experience, whether that's a real natural sponge. We're getting ready to observe jellyfish and sea anemones and freshwater hydra under a microscope. So I think bringing those actual entities into the classroom really helps.
Enjoyment and feeling matter when it comes to the productivity of the class. And when that teacher can show parental love to her students, that can really make everyone have a great time.
I love my job. This is one of the questions my kids ask me all the time. Do I have bad days? Of course, I'm human. But being here at Whiteland in particular and teaching zoology, which is a subject I love through and through, I couldn't ask for a better job. And I think a lot of the kids that I've had, like when I say I don't have kids of my own, but I teach, I have 183 kids. I look at all my kids as my kids. And I thoroughly believe that this is what I'm supposed to be doing.